Welcome to the Really Good Podcast with your host, Bobbi Althoff.
She was the internet's fastest rising star. Now she's a cautionary tale. Just 1 year ago, Bobbi Althoff had the world at her feet. A podcast that seemingly came out of nowhere. A-list guests like Drake, Offset, and mainstream media pushing her forward.
I wanted to be on my podcast.
Why you keep saying that, that shit, man? I honestly didn't even want to do this shit.
But today, her career is barely hanging on. Was Bobbi Althoff always destined to fail, or did she sabotage herself? What really happened behind the scenes, and why did the audience that once supported her turn on her so fast? Let's break it all down.
I think we look alike.
Kind of, but not really.
A little. You're like me in a different font.
The rise of an industry plant. Bobbi wasn't a typical up-and-coming content creator. She didn't spend years grinding away in obscurity, building her way up the podcasting world like so many others. No, her path to fame was instant, unnatural, and suspiciously smooth. Before launching the Really Good podcast, Bobbi was just another mommy blogger on TikTok posting sarcastic, deadpan videos about parenthood.
There is nothing more embarrassing than walking around with one of these. Everyone knows how it got there.
It's your daughter's first birthday for
To be here. Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
She had a knack for making relatable mom jokes, gaining over 3 million followers by 2023.
Really well on TikTok. So I was like, okay, I guess I have something here.
But let's be real, a sarcastic parenting influencer isn't exactly the type of person you'd expect to suddenly be interviewing A-list celebrities. And yet, that's exactly what happened. Out of nowhere, Bobbi landed interviews with some of the biggest names in entertainment. Drake, Mark Cuban, Lil Yachty, Offset. This wasn't a slow build, it was 0 to 100 overnight. Naturally, people started asking questions. How did a former mommy influencer suddenly get the biggest names in entertainment to sit down with her? Why was she signed to WME, the same talent agency as Drake, almost immediately after their interview? Why did mainstream media start pushing her when she had no experience in the industry? Even Keke Palmer bluntly called her an industry plant right to her face.
You're not an industry plant, right?
I am, but
You do feel kind of planty. We do have the same manager, so is this?
I know,
of
isn't that
planted?
crazy?
Feels a bit planty.
This is definitely
you got
Luke.
here in 5 minutes. It took me 20 years.
Hey, it has been a minute.
What I think industry plant is, it's like somebody that has been that is tied to someone else in the industry and uses those connections to capitalize, and they have zero talent.
Bobbi laughed it off, but let's be real. When multiple A-list celebrities start throwing around the term, people take notice. And here's the kicker. Bobbi didn't even deny it. It was like watching a cheat code being used in real time. While most podcasters struggle for years to get noticed, Bobbi skipped the entire grind phase and landed at the top with no visible effort. But if there's one thing the internet loves, it's building people up just to tear them down. And with Bobbi, it wasn't a matter of if the backlash would come, it was only a matter of when. The red flags begin to show. Bobbi's interview style was her signature. Dry, awkward, dismissive, but the problem? It didn't seem like an act. It started as a quirky gimmick, but as more people watched, it became clear. This wasn't a character, this was just Bobbi. One of the first major red flags came when she interviewed Drake, a global superstar who rarely does interviews, and yet Bobbi somehow secured him for her show. Instead of taking advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, she acted completely uninterested in him. She claimed she had never heard his music and barely acknowledged his influence. What was meant to be quirky and different, Dick ended up feeling awkward and forced. Drake, a rapper known for his smooth confidence, was visibly confused. Viewers could sense it. It didn't feel like an authentic moment. It felt like an act. It made Bobbi look like she wasn't even trying. But that wasn't the worst part. As the interview spread online, people started noticing something off. Bobbi wasn't just playing uninterested, she was flirting. She made multiple suggestive comments, including outright asking Drake if she was his type. And suddenly people put 2 and 2 together. She was married. She missed her daughter's first birthday to film the interview, and just months later her husband filed for divorce. The internet exploded with speculation.
I have 2 kids. The last thing I want to be is divorced with 2 kids and 30. That's
oh my
crazy.
God.
But we're going to be 30. We have 2 more years left.
I know.
I have 3.
So what you doing for these 2 years? You gonna be a hoe?
I have to do a hoe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe I will.
I don't know. You said you married young and you have your 2 kids already and you're divorced. Isn't that what divorced people do after that?
Just sleep around and have fun.
Did something happen between Bobbi and Drake? Was her marriage already in trouble, or did this interview make things worse? Bobbi tried to brush it off, but the damage was done. Her audience, once mostly moms who enjoyed her parenting content, turned on her, but things got worse. As more of her interviews surfaced, people noticed a pattern. She flirted with Funny Marco during their interview. She asked Offset inappropriate questions, leading to him publicly roasting her. She pushed boundaries with Ryan Garcia, leading to bizarre headlines about their relationship. Bobbi's entire brand was built on dry, sarcastic humor, but now it looked like she was desperate for attention in all the wrong ways, and when her audience stopped finding her funny, her empire started to crumble. The career free fall. After the Drake interview, Bobbi's career nosedived faster than anyone could have predicted. Drake unfollowed her, and the interview was mysteriously deleted without explanation. Offset publicly humiliated her on her own show, calling her bland and unseasoned. Funny Marco, who helped boost her career, cut ties, calling her stiff and unable to engage in real-life comedy. Her audience abandoned her in droves. A year ago, her videos pulled millions of views. Now she struggles to hit 6 figures, but here's the thing, this wasn't just a bad PR moment. Bobbi had no plan beyond her gimmick. Her humor relied on making guests uncomfortable, but when the tables turned, she crumbled. Offset flipped the script, roasting her instead, and instead of playing along, Bobbi was visibly uncomfortable. She had no adaptability. Then, the failed live tour with Funny Marco sealed her fate. While Marco is a seasoned live performer, Bobbi lacked stage presence, comedic timing, and crowd engagement. Marco canceled the tour, confirming what many suspected: Bobbi wasn't cut out for real entertainment. From there, the downfall was swift. The internet had moved on. Bobbi wasn't funny anymore. She was just another influencer who tried to fake it and got exposed. The final attempts to stay relevant. Desperate to regain relevance, Bobbi tried everything: a media tour with Forbes and Wired, where she exposed herself as someone who didn't research guests and was just in it for the money. A new vlog series that flopped so hard it was mocked online, showing her lack of creativity. Public meltdowns on TikTok, where she cried about loneliness and the struggle of dating, trying to pivot into the relatable influencer space. Attempting to reignite controversy by getting linked to an NFL player, only for him to publicly deny any relationship with her, further embarrassing her. Trying to embrace a bad girl persona, talking about entering her hoe phase, only for it to come off as another desperate attempt to stay relevant. None of it worked, so the audience had moved on, like Bobbi had burned too many bridges, alienated too many fans, and proven she wasn't here to create meaningful content, just to chase clout. Bobbi Althoff's story is a prime example of how fleeting internet fame can be. One moment she was rubbing shoulders with the biggest names in the industry, and the next she was struggling to hold on to relevance. Her downfall wasn't due to one single mistake, but rather a series of missteps. Failing to connect with her audience, pushing the same stale gimmick without evolving, and chasing viral moments rather than building a sustainable career. Could she make a comeback? It's possible, but it would take more than another media stunt. She would need to reinvent herself, prove she has actual passion for the content she creates, and most importantly, regain the trust of an audience that has already moved on. The internet is always looking for the next big thing, and right now Bobbi is just another forgotten name in a long list of influencers who had their moment and let it slip away. What do you think? Was Bobbi's downfall inevitable, or did she throw it all away with bad decisions? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns of internet culture, influencer scandals, and the rise and fall of online personalities. See you in the next one.